Hi, my name is Alice, and I am a living kidney donor. I am what you would call a non-direct donor, meaning I donated to a complete stranger 3 months ago. I donated to a complete stranger. I did not have a person, a family member, a friend, or someone that I knew. What happened was in April of 2020, we were 30 days into the national lockdown for COVID. I am single, living alone, an empty nester. And so one day after work, I was watching the news, and a man on the news was saying how he has kidney disease and he needs a transplant. And if someone does not step up to donate, meaning a living donor, he may die. He had been waiting on the waiting list for about 8 years. And as I was watching the news, I heard myself say out loud, I could do that. And for me, I feel I heard the voice of God that moment, and he said, yes, Alice, you can. So that day, I called my brother probably within 30 minutes, and I told him that I saw this on the news, and I was thinking about being a living kidney donor. What do you think? And my brother said, I think it's a fabulous idea. I started the paperwork to do it. 2020 was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad year. But being in the process, starting in April, until I got matched, it gave me purpose. It gave me purpose with the labs, talking with my social workers, the doctor's appointments. Even though I did not know who I was going to be donating to, I felt that this was going to be a really great thing to be doing during 2020. I really didn't think much about kidney disease until I started the process of being tested to be a living donor. It was then I started to educate myself, and I found out 13 people each day die while they are waiting for a kidney donation, whether it's from a living donor or a cadaver. And the statistics were really quite shocking to me. And then I found out how many people have kidney disease all around me, which I had no clue about. The thing that I see, and I've learned about kidney disease, I see it as the same thing as cancer. My mother died of cancer, and prior to her death, if someone said, if you gave this body part to her to save her life, I would have done it. That was not an option for her. But with kidney disease, it's the same thing. We can be saving someone's life by donating our extra kidney. And if you're a healthy person, and the doctors make sure you are, you can donate and saving them. So I've learned so much during this process, and it's quite shocking how many people live each day silently all around us with kidney disease. When I learned about kidney failure and the number of people who die from it, it was astounding to me. And I feel that our country, my friends, my family, our neighbors, we just don't realize how many people have kidney disease, and it's such a silent disease, and we need to bring more awareness to it. And so for me, again, I felt that I was doing the right thing by helping out someone else. And now that I've donated a kidney, I want to educate people. I want to educate my family and friends on what is just right in front of us and how easy it is to help another person. I ultimately decided to donate a kidney because 2020 was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad year. And I didn't see it getting much better, even though it was in April that I made this decision. I just wanted to make a difference and do something positive for another person. And this one just presented to me, and I feel like it was divinely presented to me. I'm healthy. I'm an athlete. A doctor would not take a kidney from me unless he knew that I could survive and thrive with one kidney. So it was really just to make a difference in another person's life and another family's life, because 2020 was such a terrible year, and people had lost their jobs. People were medicating, drinking too much, smoking too much, eating too much. And it just was such a sad time, I think, for so many people. So I wanted to just make a difference for someone else. When I told family members, specifically my brothers and sisters and my children, that I was donating a kidney, first they just kind of went, "Oh, wow, really?" And they didn't quite know what to say initially. And after maybe some time, they would say, "Why are you doing this? And aren't you afraid? What if something happens to you?" And I basically educated them, because I was educating myself, that again, the doctors would not be taking a kidney from me unless I was healthy. And I also, you know, let them know that every surgery that I've ever had prior, I'm a very easy healer, and I do well in hospitals, and I'm a very good patient, and I take direction. And when they say rest, I rest. And so I assured them that this would not be happening if I was not healthy enough to be able to thrive and do well after the surgery. So there was only a few people that had some concerns, but once I reassured them and educated them and told them a little bit more about the process, they then, realized this was going to be a really great thing that I'm doing. People often ask me, isn't this hard to think about, or isn't this scary, going through this process of what could happen or the possibilities? And I'm going to be completely honest. I was never scared. Nothing was difficult or hard. This was such an easy decision to do. Everything from starting the process, talking with the social workers, talking with the nurses and the doctors, being approved, and then finding out if I was a match. We had to wait for a while to get a match. And then when I did not match within the center of Cedars-Sinai, they put me on the National Kidney Registry. And so waiting for that. Probably the hardest part was waiting. It was like waiting for Christmas morning. I was so excited to do this. And so when I did get the message that I was matched, it was happy tears. It was the greatest gift of knowing that I could do this for another person. So no, there was never anything difficult or hard from the entire time of starting the process to the day of surgery and even in the recovery. It's all been pretty easy peasy for me. As I was being rolled into the operating room, I felt excitement and I felt love. And my surgeon, she was completely amazing. And I just felt I was in the best hands possible. And it was such an exciting time. I remember being on the gurney and really trying to take in everything of the excitement for me, knowing that I'm going to be changing the ending for someone's story, and to finally be there going in. So I went into surgery happy, and I don't even remember once they gave me the anesthesia and I went out. But once I was waking up, it was great. And I feel it was a pretty happy, wonderful experience going into it. It was really wonderful. If I could do it again, I would, in a second. The best moment after surgery was when I talked with the nurse and she told me that my kidney, Lefty, as I named him, was already in the recipient and it was doing well. And apparently they could tell me that things were looking good and that he had been producing urine and that his creatine levels had gone down. And for me, that's when I just cried. And it's such an amazing thing to know that his life is different and his life has changed. I now know who my recipient is. The family has reached out to me, and I found out that he's thriving. He's a father and a grandfather, and he's a husband. And, they've thanked me for giving his life back. And we're just starting the messages, but what a blessing. That is the happiest moment for me, was just knowing that the kidney is doing well in its new home, and it's new human, and it's doing well. So a little bit about my recovery. I had a very easy, wonderful, beautiful recovery. I will not lie. The first 4 days were rough. The first 2 days in the hospital were rough. And then when I came home, it was a little rough. So the first 4 days, it's rough around there. Day 5, I turned a corner and felt like a completely new person. I started walking as the doctors and nurses gave me direction to be walking. And so I did that, but I felt fabulous. By 4 weeks, I was walking 3 to 4 miles a day. And by 6 weeks, I was doing a jog walk, where I would jog a little while, then walk a little bit, and jog a little while, and walk a little bit. But lost the weight that you gain during surgery, the water weight and the bloatness. And at 8 weeks, they said go. And so I went right back into my old activities. I stand up paddleboard, I run, I walk, I do weight training, I do some CrossFit. But the main thing is I feel like I am the person I was prior to donation. When people say, how are you feeling? What's going on? How's everything? The only indication that I have that I donated a kidney is that I tend to get thirsty if I have not had enough water that day. And then I do have a few scars. I have 3 from the laparoscopic, and then I have the one incision, which is like a C-section bikini line surgery. Those are my only indication that I donated. Otherwise, I feel completely 100% the way I did the day before surgery to where I'm now. I actually have lost some weight and I feel healthy. I had an incredibly easy, wonderful recovery. And I don't know if it was my attitude going into the surgery the entire time. And so the afterwards, I have no idea why it's been this way for me, but it's been so easy. If I had another kidney, I would be doing this again. I definitely would be signing up. Some people will say, why would you do this? And I can't even say it was an inconvenience. For 8 weeks, I just could not do a lot of big activity. And of course, I was off from work, but that's my only inconvenience. And to do that, to change someone's life, was so worth it. So I feel very blessed for such an easy recovery. What I learned about myself is that I can accept help from others. And what I learned about others is that so many people, family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, loved ones, were so very supportive. I did learn to say yes when people asked if they could bring me a meal. I said yes if they wanted to come by and visit, even though it was COVID. We had our masks on. But I did find that people that I did not know very well, people that might be on my Facebook or my Instagram, how supportive they were and how loving they were. And that, seriously, if I needed absolutely anything, I could have asked anybody and they would have done it. So if you're thinking, would I have the support of loved ones? It really doesn't take very many, but people are very, very supportive in helping you in this process after donation while you're recovering. Their love through food, their love through just messages, warm thoughts, good prayers. It was pretty overwhelming. That I think the kindness of others was so touching for myself, and that's for me. It was a bit overwhelming for me, and I did not realize it would be. It wasn't difficult to receive, but I think there was so much of it. It was overwhelming, the love. After donating my kidney, my health and my life has improved and gotten so much better. It was suggested to stop eating red meat. I wasn't a big red meat eater, but I went more plant-based, and on occasions I will have chicken or fish. But being plant-based, my health, I feel so much better. I've lost weight. I've lost body fat. I'm sleeping really, really well. Um, the way my life has changed too is I just appreciate each day so much more fully, and the small things absolutely do not bother me. I see life as such a gift, and it's just gotten better. It's to explain it to another person. I tried to wrap my brain around it a few times, but my heart has gotten bigger, and I feel a sense of closeness with God that I never felt before, ever. And I can't describe it, that feeling, but I do have this huge sense of love in the world and people around me that um, it's hard to describe the love, and because there's so much love now. Something I did not expect was that I was going to connect with so many other kidney donors on Facebook and Instagram, and they are the Kidney Donor Athletes. Every single member, they have donated a kidney, and they tend to be athletic. There are people within this group that have done Ironmans, triathlons, they're marathon runners, they're ultimate runners that go 50 or 100-mile running, CrossFit swimmers, cyclists. They just do it all. And that's after donating. They were fit prior to it, and they realized that life. And there's someone who said he's done 5 Ironman triathlons, and he's run 5 marathons, and that's with one being. So being on that group and connecting with them and talking with them, I did not expect to do that. And then also people are contacting me, whether they follow me on Instagram, and they're sharing their experience and strength and hope. And I've been sharing a little bit about mine. And so just having that unique connection with other donors has been really, really wonderful. And I'm even talking with some people that live in Colorado, and I'm planning a trip there this summer, and that we're going to meet up. And it's going to be a group of us who have all donated a kidney, and we've gotten to know each other through social media. So that I did not expect. And if anyone ever asked me, is there anything that I would regret? Absolutely. There's nothing I would regret. There's nothing. If anything, I wish I would have kept a journal of more details from the very start of the process. I have some, but other than that, it's just been the best experience of my whole entire life. The best part about donating a kidney, I would say, looking back, is it made 2020 a great year for me. I will always look back and have happy, warm, good feeling about the whole process of starting the being approved to donate a kidney, to be waiting, and then right at Christmas time, it was December 22nd, found out that I was starting a chain reaction of that. I am being a non-direct donor. I am donating to a family, and then their family member is donating to someone else. And so it started a 3-chain donation. And so for me, that is probably the best part, is not only changing one life by being a non-direct donor, but it started the chain that it did 3. It could have kept on going more, but it started the chain. And that's why you need to be a non-direct donor to start that. Some people can do the paired, but some people have to find someone else who is a perfect match, and then their family member will be a perfect match for someone else. So not only changing one life, it was changing at least a minimum of 3 lives with my non-direct donor. So that was the best. Makes me very happy. The best advice I could give someone else who is thinking about being a living donor is to connect with other people who have already donated. I have not talked to one person who said, that was a big mistake. I should never have done it. I have never come across a person who said, what was I thinking? There have been a few people who have donated that ended up having some complications and they had to go back in the hospital, or they had a complication with their incision and there might have been an infection and their recovery was not easy or quick. And in fact, it may have taken a year. Every single one of them have said, I'd do it again. No regrets. I have yet to have found one person who said, that was a bad idea. So if you're thinking about it, I would get some phone numbers or find some people on social media. And if you want to contact me, I sure tell you it was the best thing I've ever chosen to do in my life. Hands down, absolutely the best. And I hope that if you are considering it, that you just talk to a few people, because the change that happens within, once you've done that, even if, for me, I did not know if I was ever going to have contact with my recipient. It was just going to be between me and God. And even if it was just between me and God, I knew something changed in me. But since then, I have connected with the family. We've only been messaging, and that was just the cherry on top, is to find out that my recipient is doing very, very well, and his family is so grateful to have that second chance in life. And so just pick up the phone, talk to another donor, and listen to your heart, and your heart will tell you what you need to do. In 2008, I went to go to the movies with a girlfriend, and the movie was Bucket List. In the movie, Carter Chambers made a list of items he wanted to do before he kicked the bucket, because he was dying of a terminal disease, and I believe it was brain cancer. So when I left that movie, I made my own bucket list and I started checking things off. I ran a marathon, I climbed Half Dome, I got my master's degree. I started doing things that I really wanted to do that I never thought I would ever do. And then in 2013, I went back to look at his list and to see the items that he had from the movie. And so I went on the internet and there was a photograph of the list. And number 2 on his list was to help a complete stranger for the common good. And I remember thinking, what the heck is that about? How can helping a complete stranger for the common good, how could that be a bucket list item? It was beyond me. Well, fast forward, when I was getting ready for surgery, I realized I was helping a complete stranger for the common good, and I get to check that one off my book. I donated life. So if you're a bucket list person and you want to have the ultimate check off and do the ultimate thing, is to help a complete stranger for the common good by donating life, do this. It was great. And I can't imagine checking off anything else that could top this one. So watch the movie, put it on your bucket list. And I hope that you are definitely considering donating life. It was the best thing I've ever done.